to begin even the interview, I want to say congratulations to your second full-length album came out, Passive Aggression. Thank you for doing the interview. And I gotta say, as a old school thrash metal fan, I really enjoyed it. It was 34 minutes of just relentless thrashing.
Thank you.
Thank you
That's
very much.
I thought of Slayer's Reign of Blood. I was like, man, this album just like it just what I thought was the pacing was really good. From the beginning to the end, it just keeps going. It never overstays its welcome. It almost leaves you wanting just a little bit more. Actually, just like Theater of the Absurd, the first album, because it was also around 35 minutes, I believe.
yeah, that's true. And we are happy that you mentioned it because that's exactly what we were going for. Me personally, I love that in those old school albums, you didn't have any fillers, and you go like, okay, we have even 7 or 8 good songs, take them, and that's it. And you want more till the next one.
Yeah. And it becomes one of those albums you re-listen to so much more because you never feel exhausted to listen to it.
That exactly.
Yeah. It's I don't know if you guys checked out, for example, the new Iron Maiden album, Senjutsu. It's like it's good, but fuck, man, it's like 80 minutes to listen to the album, and it's exhausting. I love them, but it's exhausting to listen to.
Yeah, it's like watching a whole movie with like a Lord of the Rings movie. I mean, it's good, but it's not for every day, you know?
Yeah. And I'm always curious to ask this question because you can also, you can disagree with me if you don't think this way. I feel like thrash has become a more of a niche genre. If like it was the genre of metal in the 80s, it's become a lot more of a niche genre. And I always ask people like kind of what pulled you to the style, especially in the first place, because you guys were around the same age. I'm just a little bit older. What pulled you to this style of music that you guys ultimately decided on playing thrash metal music? Like what makes it so
Um,
special for you?
yeah, I think it's what the what everyone got with this genre is like the energy, the power.
Power.
Like yeah, and all these classic bands we were first listened to it like Metallica, Slayer, all these bands. And I think this genre has this power, this energy that you cannot find it in any other genre. And yeah, we were young, we were crazy, and yeah, personally, I think Giannis will agree. We saw some videos of the bands like Metallica, Slayer, and we were shocked. Like we wanted. That's how we started playing. Like we saw all these guitarists and all these drummers and all these bands playing, and we were fascinated by all the people like headbanging, doing mosh pits, like cheering like crazy, and all this lifestyle like
Yeah.
you had in on
Yeah,
stage,
exactly.
like it was crazy,
It's
and
like
it was
we are a whole new generation, but we grew up with that old school music, and we just this music popped out of us. We wanted to play what we liked, and this is what we liked.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
old
yeah.
school Metallica and Slayer and Sepultura and Motorhead and all these bands. That's what inspired us to play. So I guess it's the same, like growing up 20 years ago and listening to the same music.
It's also for me why it's interesting is because Greece is known for great heavy metal bands, Riding Christ and so everything like that. But I would say they've spread into very, very different genres. And to see a new thrash metal band, we've gotten that resurgence with Evil and Warbringer that was like in the 2000s, which really kind of
Hmm.
brought this music back in many, many kind of ways. And you guys are just continuing it and just trudging forward. I think so. But it's always interesting to see that. And I actually agree with you 100%. You can hear it in your music. You guys have the energy, the aggression, the relentlessness, I think, that you need to play thrash. Because there's some new thrash metal bands, it kind of feels like a whimper. It's like it doesn't have the same energy. You need aggression, and that's what I really liked about you guys. I did hear a lot of Sepultura. I heard a little bit of Legion of the Damned in your music, Nuclear Assault, like
Yeah, yeah.
some of the bands I grew up with and really liked. What was the most important for you as a band, as individuals who love this music, to get across from with Amken?
What do you mean the most important?
Like, what was the most important element in your music that was
Oh,
important for you to get across to all the fans?
the vibe, I think. And I think you said it in your video, and I was like, he gets it. We want to play music that kicks us when we present it live to people. At least for me personally, that's it. I want to go in a gig, kick some ass, have some fun, and all the music that we make really resolves around this aspect, for
Mm-hmm.
me at least. So
Now,
the aggression is very important. The music has to be pointed at being played live. We don't want to be too complicated. We don't want to be too simple. Let's say we want
yeah,
to
yeah.
be like this, walk this fine line to be for the music to be played live.
It reminded me very much in that sense of I'm a big fan of Bolt Thrower
Mm-hmm.
and Sodom. Like they have that similar style in the sense that it's very memorable, and I think it's the same with you guys. For example, "I Am the One" is one of the songs I've been playing on repeat. It just has that very addictive riff throughout the whole song before like the solos come in and like it really gets
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I really enjoyed that, and I like that aspect. I think a lot of people misunderstand me when I do reactions or reviews. When I say I'm like, oh, it's on the simple side, I really like it. They think I say bad. It's like, no, it's hard to write a simple song. AC/DC is a great example.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's so hard to write a song that's addictive. You want to hear it. You don't feel like it's dismissive or something like that. So I thought that was really cool that you guys kind of mentioned the same thing as well. And
Yeah,
what else?
exactly.
And
Go
and you
ahead. Go
know
ahead,
about
Harris.
sorry about your last question.
Yeah.
There was a fan last week. He sent us. He's from Israel, and he told us, guys, I was expecting this album so much, and I was listening to Theater of the Absurd and your new album, and I was in a very bad situation in my life, and I really enjoy your music, and your music helped me go through all these terrible stages in my life. And thank you. And I was shocked, and that's what we want to do. Like, this is the best thing that I think for us that we can feel. It's not about the reviews, it's not about anything. It's like these people love this stuff that we do. Like, they have fun. That's the most important. And this guy was listening to us again and again, and somehow we helped him. Somehow, I don't know, we helped him be better. And this is a win for me, and I think for everyone in the band.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I can relate to that in some ways. I'm a personal trainer. So when you feel like you've helped one person, it's like it's all the things are worth it. Waking up early in the morning. So I hear you guys from that
Yeah, yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Exactly.
And I think it's also important. What I like about thrash music, and it's very true of Amken, is lyrics.
Yeah.
A lot of like black metal, it goes into very weird directions, or melodic death metal or power metal. They have their own little thing. But I think that the one thing that always is true about thrash is you get to talk about real things.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what we wanted. So it felt natural, you know. We wanted to talk about what we see every day in our daily lives and what pisses us off, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we sing about.
Do you think it's important for thrash metal musicians like yourselves to have that angst inside to really kind of get it across? Because I think your vocal performance as well, I think it's really raw, and I loved it. At first,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm looking, holy shit, it's almost going into the borderline of like death metal. It's like it sometimes crosses that barrier a
that's true.
bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else you do it. You have to feel it first and then get it out of you. I don't
Yeah.
know how you do it. Maybe you can do it without this, but if you don't have the angst, as you said, you you can't sound so pissed, if I may.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys got to tour with bands like Sodom, Destruction, Suicidal Tendency, I believe it was in Japan. To name a few, some of the bands kind of you toured with. I was going to ask you, what was kind of the craziest or kind of the most exciting experience you guys had this far as a band?
There were a lot. You have to be more specific, like craziest, like funnier, or like musically oriented, like I don't know.
Well, I'll put it the most memorable to you, the
I
thing that
can say
comes
a
to
lot.
you comes to your head
I
first.
th I think Japan is one of the first. Like the venue was full, and they were like in the front lines, everyone was screaming. Like they didn't even pay attention to what we were doing. Like they were like th thirsty. I don't know. And yeah, after the show, everyone was like, I don't know. It was they were extremely polite, but they seemed like they wanted this live. I don't know, this music so much. Like it was missing from their everyday life. I don't know how to describe it. They were crazy, and yeah, I don't know.
uh, for me, the first one that pops in mind is the Nightliner tour we did with Gorgoroth in 2018,
Hmm.
and it was our first Nightliner, sorry, tour. So it's everything was so new, and every day we're playing a new city, and the whole cliche of the rock band touring the world. So to me, that's the most amazing experience so far.
How did the bands treat you in general? Like, did they kind of come in as like did you feel warm and welcome, or was kind of a difficult way to kind of insert yourself and present yourself as this younger band in comparison to them?
You
No,
know,
to
we
be
were we were
yeah, yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Horace, go ahead.
Yeah, we were talking about this lately, and this is a for me, it's a special thing. Like, we attract bands like they're similar to us, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't have so much difficult time. But yeah, we are attracting bands like us. Like when we were in Japan with Violator,
Mm-hmm.
it went naturally. Like, these guys came to us and said, "Oh, okay, let's go for a beer." And then we were all night together, like 5, 6 hours, and we're just talking about, okay, first of all, music, and then we were having fun.
Yeah,
And same thing with a band in Spain, we were playing together, like the Salmado. I don't know if you know.
no.
And yeah, everything it's I, very chill around us. Like we know each other like 10 years, I don't know, and we're just chilling. And we like it. Like, we don't see this as a competition. It's music, and we just want to have fun with everyone, and we want to get along with everyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So everyone is welcome to have fun with us, and I don't know. That's our style. But yeah, we get along with pretty much every band,
I
even
got
even with even with Gorgoroth. Like, it was crazy with these guys.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard stories. And Violator, I would say it's very kind of similar. They're also awesome. I love Violator as a band as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was a very good pairing to put you guys together. It's just like it just feels the same energy around. So I guess
yeah, we love these
that makes sense.
guys.
It makes sense.
We
How about
love
for
these
you?
guys.
How about for you, Giannis? Did you feel the same way?
yeah, yeah. And I was a bit amazed, to be honest, that especially the Gorgoroth guys were very cool, very chilled, and we felt like we were bringing them like some fresh air, because they're a bigger band and they're older dudes, and they were like they were having fun, and they were trying to come out with us and have some beers and just talk bullshit, and it was like a very exciting experience because we were like not afraid, but we're like, okay, we know our place, so we
Mm-hmm.
will be more concerned, let's say. But they always make us feel very welcome.
That's nice.
And no band has been rude to us. I mean, maybe some will be just like professionals, but at least no one has been an asshole so far. That's a win.
Yeah, yeah. But talking about this idea of it's been good thus far. I feel like for thrash metal especially, it could be very challenging to get your music off the ground and get yourself going, getting people to notice you. What has been the biggest challenge thus far as a band for you? That's like, fuck, man, like we really have to work hard. What has been the biggest challenge?
Yeah, yeah, especially in thrash metal, there are so many bands, and because the thrash genre in general has been in a decline, as you said, for some years,
Mm-hmm.
the the people listening has been fewer and fewer. So you have to do something in your own way, let's say, in order to above all these bands and make people listen to you and
Yeah.
notice you. That's the hardest thing, making people notice you and not just write you off as another thrash band. So the way we are trying to do this is we're trying to find our own identity through our music and really make someone when hear our songs, this is an Amken song. I can recognize this. That's the biggest challenge and the most fun, I say, for me at least.
Yeah, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, and yeah, sorry. Yeah, for me it's exactly the same. Like we want to overcome the stigma. Like uh, someone's listening to the band and saying, "Oh, okay, these are guys playing thrash metal, and okay, they play a skunk beat, and that's it." Like, yeah, for me, it's this. We want to overcome this stigma, and I know we can do it. Like when we were playing with Gorgoroth, like we were at their audience, black metal audience, and we got so many fans. Like, you guys, you're not like the traditional thrash metal bands that we are used to. Like, we have many things to offer, and to the thrash metal genre and to this music generally. Like, uh, yeah, for me, it's the same.
the same. I was actually gonna tack on to that what you guys said here, and is I mentioned this off camera is that I discovered you guys with the Theater of the Absurd. My brother, who's my older brother, he's the one who introduced me to heavy metal. We kind of at the same wavelength, kind of got into the band and really enjoyed it. We thought it was a very strong album, and then Passive Aggression comes out, which out of nowhere I wasn't aware that the new album was being made. And thankfully, from the label, I get like emails. So I'm like, oh shit, there's a new Amken album. I kind of got excited. And to me, it seems like it's a step above. It is an evolution of the band. I would say it's like masters of their craft refining their sound, and I can't pinpoint what it was exactly. So I wanted to ask you guys, how did you try to push yourself from the first album, from your EP now to this album, and expanding yourself?
Uh, the first thing that pops in mind is like, okay, we just grew up more. We had more experiences. We toured, we played live, we saw bigger bands. Uh, we just learned more about our craft, as you said. And it's not like one thing that we got better at. I like to think of it as like we got a bit better in every directions. We we went in a bigger studio. We tried to make better songs, as simple as that sounds. We rehearsed more. We put more effort in our songs, and in the studio while playing our instruments, we change some stuff, see what sticks, and that's it pretty much. We just tried to do everything a little bit better and a little bit more being more ourselves. We try to implement some more melody and see what if people like it. But it's 100% what we want to play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're happy and we're very happy with the record.
And Harris, I'm gonna I'm gonna give you a piece as well.
Yeah, yeah. As Giannis said, we wanted to create our own sound, our own identity. And while we were making this album, we would like to visualize what the songs would be playing live, like in front of an audience,
Mm-hmm.
not only in the and we didn't try to make a studio album. We, I think we tried more to make an album that if it would every song that would be played live, it would be in front of an audience and it will be different, have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
vibe. And yeah, we try to visualize that. And we tried to complement each other. Like we didn't try to be uh, we didn't try to write the best guitars, we didn't try to write the best drums technically or the best vocals. We tried to make a good album and complement each other
I
and find our own identity. Like when someone listening to us, okay, we have thrash elements, but we want everyone to say, oh, okay, this is Amken.
and I feel
And
like
we
I
got
feel like
more,
it's the hardest thing to do, right? To find your identity.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And we got more mature. So, yeah, I think we stepped up our game.
I would 100% agree with that. And I think what Giannis mentioned, I don't think I mentioned in the review, I should have, is this melody part. There's a lot more melody, I think,
Yeah,
in this album, and
yeah,
I think it fits really well. It gives it a nice break to the heavy songs. It makes the heavy songs heavier. And
yeah,
I can totally see it being a good live performance because like you just want to thrash and headbang and go crazy.
yeah. But,
Yeah,
you know, we didn't try it. Like, we didn't put melody to so that you can relax from this pumping like thrash metal. It came naturally. Like we had the melody and we just added the thrash elements.
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
combined everything. So we didn't just put melody, to put it.
just for it to be there. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much: it's very different from a fan's perspective. When I first began doing a YouTube channel interviewing bands, I always thought this idea that somehow it's a lot more structured how people write music, and it's so nice to see. It's very instinctual. It's very organic. It's just you guys like, and it's from bigger bands, smaller bands, death metal. It's like it didn't matter. Everybody I've interviewed said the same thing. It's like it just naturally comes. We come together.
Yeah, yeah,
We don't plan for it. It happens this way, and it's no different with you guys. You're just getting better at doing it because you're doing it for much longer. It's like like I think about Megadeth. It's Megadeth's like first, second album, all great. They were all great, and then you hit with Rust in Peace. Like holy shit! And it's just because they were refining their sound and they were just getting better and better.
yeah.
And what I'm also going to ask you is, I think we all have our own journeys of getting into heavy metal music, and I would love to hear your guys' like introduction of heavy metal. Like, who was it? An older sibling? Is it just like friends? Like, how did you guys get into heavy metal in the first place?
Yeah, for me it was like some schoolmates. I had this really the tape thing with that played the tapes that my mother gave me, and I was listening to just some random Greek stuff because that's what my mother had. But then I bought my first CD player, and a classmate of mine burned me some CDs with Iron Maiden, I think,
Nice.
and I never looked back. I I loved Maiden while growing up. I'm afraid I can't listen to them anymore though because it's burning me. I had my share.
Of course.
But yeah, that was it. For me, it was Iron Maiden. I listened to every of the records like tirelessly, and then the next band I didn't listen so much to Metallica until I grew up more. To be honest, I don't know how I managed to do that. And yeah, Slayer was the first thrash band that I really loved. And then the classics and more Sepultura, some Machine Head, some In Flames.
In Flames,
That's my
yeah.
that was my introduction to the more melodic stuff, you know, and at the gates. But yeah, Maiden was my entry point.
That's a great entry point, my man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit scary how much my brother, as like when I was little, how much he listened to Iron Maiden. And I can tell you I'm a fan of Iron Maiden, but not as much as he is. I know every album and every song because of him. It's like
Yeah.
imprinted. That Metallica's Black Album, Megadeth's Rust in Peace is just every riff, every string is imprinted in my brain. So I hear you like I can't listen to it no more.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
And Harris, how about you, man?
Yeah, it all started when I was 10. I was listening to this mainstream bullshit things that that were in trend in Greece.
Hmm.
And then one day I went to my cousin's home. He's 15 years older, and he was listening to all this metal, not only thrash metal. And I had an MP3 player with all these mainstream songs, and I was listening to it, and he was like, "What are you listening to?" I was saying him, "Ah, this. Ah, okay, throw it away." And he took me and he put me Metallica live in Seattle,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I was shocked. I was like that. What is this? And then he put me Slayer, uh, and he had, you know, a library with CDs and vinyls and everything. And I told him, "Can I borrow five, six CDs to check them?" And he told me, "Ah, take anything you want." I don't remember what I took. I think I took uh, Ride the Lightning, and I don't know. But yeah, and 1 week later, uh, I was outside music school with my brother, and I listened to drums and guitars and all this stuff, and I was like, I want to be a musician. And
Nice.
my brother, he's younger than me, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I want to be too." Okay, and we wanted to make a band, so we were like, one has to take the guitar and one has to take the drums. So we tossed a coin like this, and I took the drums. And yeah, the rest is history. And then I was going to my cousin's home every week and taking CDs every week.
Good cousin. Good cousin, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best one.
Well, it's interesting you got into this whole idea how you picked up an instrument because I also want to ask about that because I think it also it's interesting for me how people are driven to like I'm going to pick up an instrument and then it's like we want to form this band and I wanted to ask what sparked the interest to even form Amken and like no we're gonna fucking do this.
It
Yeah.
was like for me, I played guitar, but you know, more casually as a complete hobby, let's say, when I was younger and at school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then when I got like 18 and finished preschool, I was friends with Vanyas, the previous singer that now does the guitars and back vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, okay, maybe we can come together sometime and just jam, you know. But we got so much enjoyment out of it. So gradually we found other members and we said, okay, let's maybe do the band thing and see where it goes. There was no point like, okay, we're gonna make this band and we'll be huge and let's let's rock the world. It came like completely gradually and one step at a time. And then the years gone by, we were working hard. Then we find this guy Harris, and it really came together, you know. And if you told me 10 years before that the garage band we were playing Breaking the Law with is where it is now, I'd be very, very happy.
Yeah, and I
We
I'm
started jamming. We started jamming with Creator, so I think it's a good start.
That's a very good. The Creator is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen them live, it's like the pure aggression from Mil Petroza that you hear. It's in his 50s.
Yeah,
It's just like this guy's a fucking monster.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, Giannis and Vanyas had put an ad in Metal Hammer, and that's how I met them. Like I was like, I need to find a band. I was in some bands, but we didn't play metal. And they put an ad, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna call them. I think I called Vanyas, and he told me, okay, let's rehearse together. So he told me you need to get ready with 5 songs, and I think we played Sepultura and what else?
Like
Creator
Creator, some Slayer maybe.
and yeah, and Suicidal Angels, I think.
That's
It was
awesome.
like that.
Well, I'm really happy that you guys came together because I listen to a whole lot of music. It almost scares people how much thrash. Like I don't listen to metal. I love other genres. I like even electronic music, rap music, everything. But I
Hmm.
find myself always coming back to metal. And there's bands I listen to. In all honesty, I listen to them like I like them, but they're on the periphery for me. It's like it's like I get to them. They're kind of fun, but they're
Ah,
okay.
you
Like
like Periphery?
oh no, no, it's like it's like some people even get like offended on the reaction channels. I'm like, they're okay, and they're like, why are you so direct? I'm Russian. I'm a Russian person. I'm very direct with what I like. But when I've discovered Amken with my brother, I think right off the bat we looked at each other like we need to pay attention. I think because this is going to be a band that's really worth following and really worth listening to because they're only going to grow. They're only going to get better. And that happened with Warbringer. That happened with a couple of bands. It doesn't happen very often. So I'm happy to have discovered you guys. I'm happy that you guys have very good chemistry. You can hear it in the music without seeing you guys live yet. Like there's good chemistry in the music and an understanding of one another. At least on an intuitive level, that's how I feel about your music. So I'm just happy to be hearing thrash metal still in 2022. That's this good.
We are glad. That's exactly the feeling we were going for. We have the chemistry, we have fun together, we love playing together. So if someone can hear it without even watching us play, that's the best compliment we can get.
And I wanted to leave for the interview. I wanted to leave the last word to you guys. If there's anything you would want to say, if there's any fans, if there's anybody who's never discovered you, which funny enough, when I did the review, there was somebody who discovered you, one of my followers, and I told him, like, dude, check out I Am the One. And once I gave him that, he's like, I'm listening to the album. I'm like, okay, great. Is there anything you would want to say to them? I want to leave the last word to you guys.
Uh, as as you know by now, our new album Passive Aggression is out right now. So we would love for everyone to give it a listen to, I think, pretty much all the platforms. And we would really love to play live for all of you guys. Let's give a promise to meet with you in the road. That's the
Yeah,
only thing I
exactly.
want to add.
We will hit the road soon, so we really hope that everyone, even if he doesn't or she doesn't ever listen to Amken, comes to our show. We really hope that, and yeah, we're not like a traditional thrash metal band. Don't be scared. I don't know. Yeah.
If I may ask, who are you guys going to be touring with?
Uh,
Uh,
we don't know if we have many things in the works, and
Yeah.
nothing is written in stone, let's say right now. So we can't say now, but by
yeah, the
early,
industry is pretty tough right now, the industry.
yeah.
Like if you show today the Atheist and Suicidal Angels tour cancelled,
Mm-hmm.
and many tours that we were going to play in the winter or in the fall, like November, everything was postponed.
Yeah, yeah.
We're in discussion with some bands, and we will see. Yeah, but I think uh, early 2023 we're gonna have a tour, a European tour for sure, maybe
Yeah.
two.
And I think it's really important. I've discovered a lot of bands through just touring. Like you go to a concert. I discovered Warbringer that way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
and
Cool.
and became a fan of Warbringer. Like I discovered with my brother and I, it was the first concert I ever went to. It was Gold Whore, Exodus, Warbringer, and a couple other bands. I've never been at a concert. I'm like 17, 16 years old. And first of all, Warbringer comes on. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? And it's just after that, I just became a fan automatically.
Yeah,
So
it's very important.
it's so important. Well, again, guys, thank you so much for doing this. I'm a big fan. I hope that even with this interview, one or two more fans become of fans of Amken. I would feel like I've done my
Yeah,
job. And it's just a pleasure to talk to you
of
guys.
course,
You guys
of
feel like
course.
friends I'm talking to just across the sea.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for the invitation, and cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you for your review. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.